Hi, World Church here. So today we're going to do a sermon on how the supposed sin of selfishness could be the thing that saves the world from most evil, or what we call evil or consider to be evil, which would be things we don't want and things that harm us. So how the heck could selfishness be something that saves us from evil and harm? Because we think about the word selfishness or the sin called selfishness as if it is a bad thing in and of itself. First of all, I just want to tackle sin. Hang on one second, please. Okay, I'm just going to my church website, which is churchoftheworld.net, and we're going to take a look at sin first, because I know most people consider selfishness to be a sin. So we're going to the sin page. Jesus said, quote, "There is no sin, but it is you who make sin when you do the things that are like the nature of adultery, which is called sin." And that is from the Gospel of Mary, one of the books that they tried to keep out of the, what I like to call the Jesus Killers book, the Bible, which, like many other scrolls, was cobbled together in order to kill Jesus. So what did Jesus mean that there is no sin? Well, Jesus meant that sin is created when we decide that it's a sin. So our cultures are constantly changing, right? And we decide and choose when something is a sin and when it isn't. Long ago, they used to throw people into volcanoes and sacrifice them and kill them. And the people loved it. They liked being killed. They competed for the honor to be killed in these manners. So they did not think that murder in this fashion was a sin, but now we do. So that was what Jesus was saying, is there is no sin other than what we create or believe is the sin. That's coming from Jesus. But I'm not talking about murdering people, okay? I always start my sermons with something like that, right? To shock you. What I am saying is I'm trying to open up your mind to the idea that maybe selfishness is something that we have formerly called a sin and said it was a sin, but maybe we didn't fully understand what it was or how it could be used. What I, the church, believe is that there is a balance in everything, okay? So we have these different things that are like tools, and there is a balance in everything. So if you have selfishness, right, and you go too far with that and only have selfishness, then yeah, things could get what we call evil. But if you don't have any selfishness and you have only selflessness, and that goes too far, things can also get evil, because then you get crushed, squashed flat like a bug. You have no defense of yourself, and you're just way too giving, possibly to people who are sharks. I mean, it might work to be completely selfless in a world where everyone was completely selfless, but that's not the case. In a world where we are basically animals struggling to survive on a planet, we're always going to have a side that wants us to survive just by nature. That's just the way it is. Okay, so we do need that balance so you don't get squashed flat and you don't become too cruel to others and not caring about them. And that's what the balance is, the yin yang. Okay, that's what I, the church, believe and what I preach. Now, I want to go to defining what selfishness is, because I claimed that selfishness could save the world of most evil. Selfishness, I believe, could save the world of most evil, what we call evil. How is that? Okay, so here's the definition of selfishness. It is an adjective. Being devoted to caring only for oneself. Selfishness is being devoted to caring only for oneself, concerned primarily with one's own interests. So being concerned primarily with yourself and your own self-interests. Characterized by manifesting concern or care only for oneself. So how could that stop evil? That doesn't even make sense, right? Well, it does if you consider that there is a consequence to all of our actions. Yes? What is a consequence? A consequence means the effect, the result, or the outcome of something you did or something that happened. So let's just say let's see, is my cat back here? You see my cat? Let's just say I smack her right now and I just hit her in the face. Whoosh! What's gonna happen? There will be a consequence to that action, and my cat is gonna lift up her paw and she's gonna smack me right back. Whoosh! And probably give me a good nice scar right there. Now if I pet my cat, she's probably gonna give me a lot of love, which is what she usually does. You see? She had no problem with me. She's actually giving me kisses. Why? Because I know the consequences of my actions are if I give her love, she will give me love back. Now, I may want to do something sadistic, right? You might want to too. I'm sure you do, actually. I know everybody does. Let's just pick a sadistic thing that somebody could do. Okay, you could steal from someone. So let's just say I go steal from someone. The consequence of that to myself is most likely I'll be discovered and punished. I'll either be put in jail or destroy my life in another way, like maybe somebody will come after me. If I'm a scammer and I scam your bank account like somebody did to me, I might be killed. You know, I'm pretty sure that the guy that scammed me, somebody is going to kill him one day. He's going to mess with the wrong person or the mafia or something, and they're not going to be very nice about it. And the consequence to his actions will be he's probably going to end up in a ditch somewhere. That's just the way it is. Or let's just say even more mild, like you never get caught. But gradually, as you're stealing, the people around you they don't trust you anymore. You're dealing with scummier and scummier people, and one day you wake up and you're just like, you realize you have a crappy life because there is nothing around you but tweakers and thieves. Now, you weren't very selfish because you obviously don't care about your own self, and you obviously don't care about your own life. If you do something like that to someone and you reap that consequence, you are harming yourself. It's just the way the world works. Now let's say that you want to steal, but instead of stealing, you're a little too selfish for that, and you want something a little bit better for your own life, and you realize that the consequences of that are not going to give you a good life. So instead you resist and you decide not to steal from others, and then suddenly one day you wake up and you've got people that trust you to death. People who would do anything for you because they know there's so many other people out there that would steal from them, and you're one of the only ones who wouldn't. And your life goes shooting up, and you not only don't go to jail and you don't get killed and put in a ditch somewhere, but you've got amazing opportunities now. All because you were considering yourself. You were selfish, and you thought about the consequences, and you said, you know what? I am devoted to caring for myself. And right now I'm going to manifest a concern only for myself and think about the consequences of my actions upon myself. And I'm not going to do that sadistic action. That is exactly how selfishness could save the world of most of what we call evil. You know, I could do anything sadistic I want. Now, one thing that helped save me at that time from that path was Jesus, because I thought about the sacrifice on the cross. But it was really hard even still. I still chose to go with self-sacrifice instead of sadism. And guess what happened? A few years later, not even a few years, I started reaping rewards. And it suddenly blossomed in my mind like, wow, the consequences of this are that I'm getting a great life. I'm being given so many rewards and so many gifts. And I'm getting health and happiness and wealth and friends and all kinds of things, that success that I always wanted to do. Now, what if I had gone down that other path? I'd be screwed. And now I'm very aware. I'm way too selfish to screw myself over like that. So I just want you to consider that next time you're facing a decision. Like, should I go ahead and, lie to that person and abuse them? And should I steal from them because I feel perfectly fine and within my rights to do that? Well, you may actually be within your rights to do that depending on how they treated you. But let's just say they've done nothing to you and they love you and they've been wonderful to you and they've given you help and money, and you're just thinking in your head, I could just take advantage of this person and I could really hurt them. Besides that just being horrible, because there are so few people in the world that are not going to hurt you. I can't imagine why you would want to hurt one of the very few who will not hurt you back. But I just want you to think, wait a minute. Do you remember what Pastor has said? That I could be very selfish right now, and I want something good to happen to me, not something bad to happen to me. So I should be a little bit more selfish when I'm considering my consequences. And I should think about the consequences to myself of my actions. Maybe I should be, more selfish and more concerned for my future. And then you can choose to self-destruct and ruin yourself. Or you could choose to go down the selfish path, which is to not do that sadistic action, so that the consequences to you are a very, very rewarding life to you in the future. All right. I'm sorry if that was long-winded. I was just winging it today because I just kind of wanted to, but I just wanted to show you something. This is the yin-yang, right? This is the balance. The balance. And then we have you see these two snakes? Now the snakes are in balance. I hope that made sense. All right.